Presented by Listen Headlines, latest world news from trusted sources.
World CBS News, com. September 10, 1219 America, New York. As Taliban's crackdown on dissent turns deadly, escape is for the few. Second flight expected to carry about 200 more people out of Afghanistan, but as an unapologetic Taliban cements its power through violence, that's a drop in the bucket.
Washington Post World. September 10, 1216 America, New York. Israeli police kill suspected Jerusalem Palestinian attacker. A Palestinian suspected attacker has died shortly after being wounded by Israeli police gunfire in Jerusalem, where he had reportedly tried to stab officers.
Fox World News. September 10, 1212 America, New York. State Department denies Taliban claim that U.S. blacklist of new leadership violates Doha Agreement. The Taliban on Thursday accused the U.S. of violating the peace deal reached under the Trump administration for keeping members of its recently announced interim government on the U.S.
Washington Post World. September 10, 1211 America, New York. UNESCO urges Afghanistan to preserve educational gains. As the Taliban government takes power in Afghanistan, UNESCO is warning about risks to access to education, especially for girls and women.
September 10, 1204 America, New York. Giuliani associate Igor Fruman pleads guilty to solicitation of a contribution by a foreign national. Igor Fruman, an associate of Rudy Giuliani, pleaded guilty Friday in New York federal court to a charge stemming from a case alleging he funneled foreign money to U.S. campaign coffers.
Washington Post World. September 10, 1203 America, New York. Hurricane Olaf scrapes across Mexico's Los Cabos resorts. Hurricane Olaf has scraped across the southern tip of Mexico's Baja California peninsula and spun back into the Pacific, bringing heavy rain and strong winds to the twin resorts of Los Cabos. Washington Post World. September 10, 1201 America, New York. The world 9/11 created. The waning of the American superpower. The U.S. reaction to 9/11 involved costly invasions, the massive expansion of the U.S. security state, and a new global awareness of the limits, rather than the potency, of American power.
BBC News World. September 10, 12 o'clock America, New York. COP26. Poorest countries fear not reaching UK for climate summit. 20 of the world's poorest countries face hotel quarantine before the event in Glasgow.
September 10, 12 o'clock America, New York. Apple ordered to change how it handles App Store payments. Big Tech failed with contact tracing. Can it do better with vaccine passport apps? Apple walks back plans for new child safety tools after privacy backlash. September 10, 12 o'clock America, New York. CNN poll. Most say 9/11 attacks changed the way they live today. 20 years after 9/11, the changes the attacks brought to American life still reverberate across political and demographic lines. A new CNN poll conducted by SSRS finds that 57% of Americans say the attacks impacted the way they live their life today, and 68% say the attacks had an impact on Americans' individual rights and freedoms.
Time. September 10, 11:51 America, New York. COVID-19 is forcing us to talk about rationing healthcare in the U.S. again. Could we have avoided this? On September 7, the country's leading COVID-19 doctor issued a dire warning about the growing number of pandemic cases in the country, and the shrinking number of ICU beds available to care for the sickest people.
BBC News World. September 10, 11:51 America, New York. MH17. One father's testimony marked by despair in a rucksack. Relatives reveal the pain of securing justice for those who brought down the flight over East Ukraine.
Fox World News. September 10, 11:50 America, New York. China propaganda social media campaign reaches other countries, again blames U.S. for COVID. Chinese disinformation campaigns around the origin of the coronavirus have spilled out into other countries, even attempting to promote protests in the United States. September 10, 11:44 America, New York. Here's who loves Biden's vaccine mandate: the companies that have to enforce it. President Joe Biden gave a gift to every major company in America by forcing them to mandate vaccines or stringently test their employees for COVID. Their reaction to the new rule: glee.
Time. September 10, 11:43 America, New York. I lost my father on 9/11. I am still ashamed of the injustice done in the name of families like mine. I was 6 years old on September 11, 2001, when I lost my father, firefighter Douglas C. Miller. At such a young age, how does one process death, let alone death on a national scale? For the rest of my life, every year, my father's picture would be put on a television screen.
BBC News World. September 10, 1141 America, New York, Afghanistan. UN condemns Taliban's brutal crackdown on protests. The United Nations says the Taliban used live ammunition, batons and whips on protesters, killing 4. BBC News World. September 10, 1136 America, New York, Nord Stream 2. Gazprom says new pipeline to Germany is ready. The Nord Stream 2 pipeline will double Moscow's natural gas exports to Germany, bypassing Ukraine.
September 10, 1132 America, New York. Analysis: why Merrick Garland is channeling John Roberts in DOJ's fight against the Texas abortion ban. When Attorney General Merrick Garland mustered the power of the federal government to attempt to stop Texas's controversial abortion ban Thursday, he made sure to single out Chief Justice John Roberts in his press conference. September 10, 1130 America, New York. Secrets and Lies: the role of restorers in art crime. The arrest of the British antiques restorer Neil Perry Smith in July is not the first instance of a restorer becoming embroiled in crime.
PowerPost. September 10, 1121 America, New York, The Daily 202. Here's what Biden left out of his new vaccine mandates. How many will be affected? His frustration is clear, his numbers, less so.
September 10, 1121 America, New York. I can barely hold a drumstick. Phil Collins details health struggles. Phil Collins says he is no longer able to play the drums due to health issues. The musician, who is 70, appeared on BBC Breakfast and said his son, Nick Collins, will be drumming with the band going forward.
Washington Post World. September 10, 1120 America, New York. Nigeria threatened by school abductions, says UN official. A United Nations official has strongly condemned frequent school abductions in Nigeria, which threaten the future of the West African nation.
September 10, 1113 America, New York. Opinion: Biden's 6-point COVID plan leaves some holes. On Thursday, President Joe Biden released his much-anticipated 6-part plan to stem the spread of SARS-CoV-2. Vaccine distribution matters, surely. But as we have seen so acutely over the last 2 months, distribution alone is insufficient to stem the spread of COVID-19.